Nintendo, thank you. Thank you for revealing game after game, franchise after franchise during your E3 showcase. Despite being held back by the COVID-19 pandemic, you delivered one of, if not the most entertaining and exciting show at E3 this year. Although the bar was pretty low. At least you didn't spend half your presentation awkwardly shooting the breeze with movie and TV stars. Yeah, Kevin Hart clearly doesn't want to be here right now. You gotta pay me or what? In what turned out to be an understandably lackluster E3, Nintendo brought their A game, reminding gaming fans of all kinds how exhilarating the E3 season can be. I won't go as far as to say that this is the best E3 Nintendo has put out, but after nearly 2 years without an E3 event, it was refreshing. When Nintendo comes out and revives not 1, not 2, but 3 dead series, plus more news on a sequel to a masterpiece, well, it is a good day in the Nintendo City neighborhood. I'm not saying it was perfect. I think Nintendo could have used one last huge reveal to seal this presentation as one of the greats. But again, considering the circumstances, Nintendo nailed it. So let's get right down into breaking down the reveals and no-shows, starting with the sequel to Breath of the Wild. We still don't have a title. What could they be waiting for? I thought that was the simplest thing to ask for, the lowest bar, but apparently I was wrong. According to Bill Trennan, they are saving the title because it could spoil the story. I think what he means is it will spoil a reveal Nintendo is planning for a later date. Not so much the story because, it's the title of the game. You're gonna see the title of the game before you buy it. I think he means it will spoil a reveal that Nintendo has planned for later on. Probably a plot point or game mechanic. I'm willing to take some guesses. However, I'm going to do a deep dive Zelda video right after this video, so I'll save my in-depth discussion for that. Although, if it's just hints at Ganondorf, then what's the point of waiting? Does Nintendo expect us to act surprised? And now the moment you've all been waiting for. Here is the title for Breath of the Wild 2! The Legend of Zelda, King of Malice. Oh, so Ganondorf is in the game. How did you know? Let me say that I predicted the new open-air exploration set in the sky, with islands all around. No loft wings, yet. But maybe Link will unlock other modes of travel beyond just his handy-dandy glider. Either way, this new area in the sky is a brilliant way to change up the landscape without completely overhauling Hyrule. Big fan of this. Along with that, Hyrule Castle is indeed on a tower, like I said before, not floating. It doesn't go nearly as high up as I thought it would, but maybe Ganondorf had... I literally put Ganondorf on here. Not Ganondorf, Ganondorf. But maybe Ganondorf had a budget. Oddly enough, I saw some people were shocked that the castle was rising up and not sinking. I don't understand it. Clearly, Hyrule Castle was rising up in the original teaser trailer. So I don't know what these people were thinking. I also predicted the glowy arm replacing the Sheikah Slate. Not sure what new powers it possesses exactly, but it seems to have similar powers to the runes on the slate. A force push of some kind, turning into water and phasing through things. I'll be sure to cover this in my deep dive video. I love the gameplay direction and the aesthetic so far. Link looks like a wild man, potentially part cyborg, with his robotic arm thing. It's a really cool look for him. Hopefully I can make sense of it when I do that deep dive. Probably my biggest disappointment, however, besides no title, is Zelda's potential fate. I was really hoping she'd play a role in Link's adventure, at least more of a role. But now it looks like she's falling down some bottomless pit in what could be the beginning of the game. But again, I'll have more on that in my deep dive. Oh my gosh, stop teasing the deep dive. I can't help it. I have so many thoughts on this that I want to get out, but I gotta save it. 2022 release date makes perfect sense, especially since the game still doesn't have a title. Oh my gosh, give it a rest. In fact, I'm not confident we'll see Breath of the Wild 2 again this year. I would go far as to say late 2022 for its release, leaving E3 2022 open for a major Breath of the Wild 2 focus. But I guess we shall see. Metroid Dread. Dread was real! No, Dread is real. A game that was in development hell for 15 years or so finally sees the light of day. What a comeback story. It's a shame Dread has taken this long. It seems like Sakamoto and the Metroid team just couldn't get a modern 2D Metroid to work with this Dread concept. Thank goodness for the passionate team at Mercury Steam. I love their work on Samus Returns, and it looks like they're continuing their great work with Dread. Or rather, improving it. This game was the star for Nintendo this year. Yes, the sequel to Breath of the Wild will be bigger in terms of hype and sales, but reviving a franchise on life support with a new entry that releases in less than 4 months, coupled with a bone-chilling trailer, is sure to steal the show. Kudos to Nintendo for saving the reveal of Dread for this exact moment. The concept of hiding from an invincible enemy reminds me of other horror genre games where a monster chases you throughout a house or forest. The thing with Dread, though, is Samus is quite powerful herself. To be chased and pinned down by a robotic foe is actually terrifying. In that way, I love how the name Dread fits the narrative so well. Speaking of narrative, why is Samus on this planet in the first place? Did she crash land again? And what is the purpose of the Emmy robots? Such a cute name too. I love it. Are they hunting or are they guarding? Sakamoto confirms they were created by the Galactic Federation, so maybe the Federation was doing some more experiments with these robots. Interestingly, Sakamoto calls them research robots in his interview. What exactly are they made to research? Are they being controlled by another party? So many questions, so little answers. Almost want to do a deep dive on this as well. I don't know if I'll have the time for that though. While we don't see the series staple Metroids at all during this trailer, possibly due to Samus committing genocide in Samus Returns, I wouldn't be surprised if the Metroid made an appearance in some way. Sakamoto also says that Metroid Dread will be the final story in the current arc of the series, whatever that means. Now, he was referring to the relationship between the Metroid and Samus, so I wonder how that will all play out when Metroid don't seem to be playing a huge role in this. The end of Samus Returns seems to hint at a rogue Chozo pulling the strings, but I guess we'll see if that has a role as well. Regardless of story, the gameplay and exploration look fantastic, improving on the Samus Returns style of combat. The few new power-ups we see look like fun additions. The boss designs are also looking pretty great, and the cinematic fights are just too good! Samus is one bad woman. Can't wait to play this in October. Kazuya in Smash. This one was a good entry. Not a stellar one for me, but important for gaming and Nintendo history. I'm sure Tekken fans are ecstatic. Tekken absolutely deserves a spot, especially since Bandai worked on Ultimate. His moveset looks copy-pasted from Tekken, keeping in tradition with many of the DLC characters that are just copy-pasted from their own games. The stage even seems to have the Tekken camera angles as well, so it'll be cool to pull off some of those moves. Kazuya also has a Demon OP mode, similar to Joker and Sephiroth. Not sure how it activates, but I guess it makes him unique from Ryu and other fighters. Really can't say much about Kazuya since I'm not a huge fighting game fan, but I'm sure he'll be a great addition. It's nice to have fighting game history represented in Smash. About his reveal, what a way to show who's boss, killing all these Nintendo characters. Ganondorf, Captain Falcon, Pit, Marth. Min Min was great with her arms snagging on the cliff, the way Kazuya kicks it up. Ew, gross. I'll admit it's not my favorite addition in the DLC pack, but it's a good one. Unfortunately, Kazuya was the only Smash character announced at E3. If you watch my predictions video, I mentioned Nintendo might save the final pass reveal for later in the year, especially if they don't have too many announcements during that time. That said, I did think 2 reveals was more likely since E3 is great marketing, but 1 reveal makes sense considering the state of the world. No idea who that last fighter will be, but I'm sure we'll have plenty of time to speculate. Come on, Phoenix. Shin Megami Tensei V. I have been somewhat lukewarm to the rollout of this game, but the more I see, the more excited I get. The trailer during the English E3 presentation was okay, albeit basic, showed off the premise, apocalyptic environment, the visual appeal, etc., but I didn't see anything story related that got me hooked until I saw the Japanese trailer. Ooh, now that's what I'm talking about! Much more exciting. After seeing this trailer, Shin Megami Tensei V went from might pick it up to must pick it up. Now, I don't have much of a history with this series beyond Persona 5 and Tokyo Mirage Sessions, but I'm very willing to jump in with this one. I'll just ignore Shin Megami Tensei 3 Remaster. Pretend that doesn't exist. Something I noticed during my first watch through, The UI is very similar to Tokyo Mirage Sessions, almost one for one in some cases. I wondered if that was a staple design for the series, but apparently this UI is new for the main series. Personally, I like it. I think it looks clean and polished, easy to see, but small enough that the menu is not in the way. I am a little confused why they kept the color green as the primary color for the menu. Honestly, it looks like the same shade from Tokyo Mirage Sessions. Maybe if they changed the color to gold like the logo and other menus, or blue like the protagonist's hair, but that's a small nitpick. Speaking of the protagonist, are you a boy or a girl? The protagonist is taking a page from Sephiroth's Book of Edginess, going for a long mane. Then again, this guy looks much more serious than the Troll King Sephiroth. Jokes aside, I like the design. It's simple yet unique. Admittedly, I'm kinda tired of the edgelord protagonist trope, but I'm guessing that's a must for the series. My only complaint is about the environment setting. Seemed a little one note. Sure, a sand-filled apocalyptic Tokyo is a cool premise, but I hope they give us more to look at besides sand. So much sand. Too much sand. I hate sand! Easy, Anakin, easy. I'm excited to see more. A story trailer would be nice. Mario plus Rabbids Sparks of Hope. This was originally shown at Ubisoft's conference, but obviously Nintendo wanted to show it too. Looks fantastic. Love the premise for going to space, combining the Rabbids with Luma, getting Rosalina into the mix, or at least Rabbid Rosalina. The gameplay changes remind me of a Valkyria Chronicles take on the game's previous combat. Free moving within an area, using the terrain for your advantage. Just can't wait to see how it all plays out and how everyone's weapons work. I imagine the sparks will provide special elemental powers. Not sure if those are special attacks or just elemental enhancers for the cast, but a neat concept regardless. I am a little disappointed in only 9 cast members. Was really hoping they tried to increase that from the last game, more than just 1. Actually, I was hoping we'd get a plethora of characters to choose from. But as long as they're fun to use, I guess it's not a huge deal. This is definitely a must-buy for 2022. Warioware, get it together! I was right about Warioware! It looks like a fun new take on the microgame series, replacing the cursor with character models that have unique actions, creating new ways to solve the same microgames. It's a nice replacement for the touchscreen and motion controls. That said, I kinda miss motion controls. It makes sense, but I hoped WarioWare would utilize the Joy-Con in a similar way to the Wii Remote from Smooth Moves. I guess Nintendo is moving away from supporting the Joy-Con, besides HD Rumble. Don't want to prevent Switch Lite users from playing this game. It's understandable. It's a cool concept, great microgames, the beautiful art and all of its awkwardness. Oh, so good. Can't wait to see 8Volt's gaming-related microgames. They're so funny. I saw in the Treehouse gameplay, there was a tea time with Claude. I'm so excited to see what that one's about. Mario Party Superstars! I really should have seen this one coming, but I was so focused on WarioWare that Mario Party didn't seem likely yet. But of course they would make a new Mario Party, and it looks better than Super Mario Party, or at the very least, more meat on the bones. Sure, it's a collection of past maps and games from the series, but it's entirely remade from the ground up, giving it a fresh and modern Mario Party look. The 2 maps that they showed off at E3 aesthetically looked way better than the bland maps from Super Mario Party. That said, there are only 5 maps to choose from. If they're taking inspiration from previous games, why not have 8 or 10? There's plenty to choose from. I guess that would require a little more development. You have to remake those maps. But come on! At least Mario Party Online is now a day 1 feature. No more terrible mini-games online. Now we'll have to deal with terrible Mario Party Online. Hey, the terrible online is not a mistake. It's a feature. I'm also slightly disappointed it's just a collection of past games and not necessarily new ideas. I liked the direction they went with Super Mario Party. The issue was that the ideas they had were bare bones. If they focused on 2 modes and added more details to them, then Super Mario Party would have been one of the best in the series. Regardless, Superstars looks fun and does improve on some of the issues with the last Switch title. which is really all I can ask for. Advance Wars 1+2 Reboots Camp. For someone who enjoys Fire Emblem, I felt it was a shame I never played its sister series, Advance Wars. To be fair, I didn't even play Fire Emblem until Awakening, but I saw Advance Wars multiple times in my local stores growing up, yet I decided to ignore it, probably because it looked challenging. However, after trying and loving Fire Emblem, I thought about giving Advance Wars a shot, but I never found the opportunity. Years later, I played the Advance Wars-inspired game Wargroove, and I didn't like it. Or at least, I got bored of it. Mostly because of pacing issues and the map design. Some of the maps were really long and tedious, so now I'm a little worried Advance Wars may not be the game for me. However, after watching the Treehouse Live showcase and seeing the gameplay in action, along with some other reasons, why are you so precious? I am ready to give this previously dead series a shot. It honestly looks like a fun challenge. The toy aesthetic was a little jarring at first, but the more I see it, the more I can get behind it. You know, now that I think about it, more realistic tanks and troops might be too heavy for the vibe they're going for. The character art is great, however. From what I understand, WayForward is handling this reboot, which you can see in the art style. Good move by Nintendo. Since Intelligent Systems is more focused with other IPs, give Advance Wars to another capable studio. Okay, now for a quick round of titles that interest me, but I'm not going to do a huge talk about them. Age of Calamity DLC. Cool additions. I was a little worried when they said this would be the final segment of the show, and I thought DLC was going to end it. Oh man, I was really worried about that. Luckily, that wasn't the case. So we saw Link with nunchucks. That was pretty cool. The Guardian was awesome, but the cream of the crop was Zelda on the motorcycle. Let's go! She looks so cool. In her face, like she wasn't afraid. She was like, I'm owning this. This is my ride. Let's do this. Loved it. Monster Hunter Stories 2, I'm getting this game, so I'm a little tired of how much Capcom has been showing this one, at least story trailer-wise. However, what Nintendo showed was more of the actual gameplay, the exploration, the hub world. That's what I wanted to see. That's what got me really excited here. Bad job by Capcom, great job by Nintendo. I don't know if that was Capcom's thought or Nintendo's thought, but either way, they improved my impressions of the game just from showing the actual gameplay. Super Monkey Ball Banana Mania. I've never been a fan of Super Monkey Ball because I've never really played it. So it's one of those titles that I want to give it a shot because so many people love the series, even though it's a little niche. I want to give it a shot, but it just depends on what my schedule is like, you know, what games I'm playing at the time, because the end of 2021 is looking packed for me. There's a lot of titles I want to play. But happy for Super Monkey Ball fans, getting this collection of great titles. Another collection, Danganronpa. I know a lot of people have asked me to stream this one. I want to. I just don't know if I'm able to stream games in my current situation, unfortunately. I definitely want to play it and give it a shot because I hear the story is pretty great. Fatal Frame, Maiden of Black Water. Not a fan of horror games. They really scare me, but I see this title and I want to support it so bad. I've heard great things about it, and I didn't play it on the Wii U, obviously, but I just want to give it a shot. But again, I have the same issue of, will there be time to play it? We'll see. We'll see. Now, there were a couple no-shows, some more understandable than others. Overall, the Direct was good, but imagine if some of these titles were there as well. It would have gone from good to maybe amazing. Starting with no 35th anniversary celebration for Zelda Beyond Game & Watch. So the Zelda Game & Watch is pretty neat, and I like the features they have on there. I already pre-ordered it. I just want to add to my collection as a collectible. But that's all we're getting for the 35th anniversary. However, I'm okay with that. I think the only thing I really would have wanted was a collection. But if Nintendo's not ready to do that, or they feel that now is not the right time to have that sort of collection of titles, then understandable. I think the reason why they don't want to do a 3D collection is because they're trying to get Skyward Sword HD out there. Once that's done, once that's out and about, then the likelihood of having some sort of collection, even if it's just Wind Waker and Twilight Princess, the chance of that happening is much higher. Personally, I think 35 is just a number. It doesn't matter. There's no obligation that Nintendo has to celebrate that number anniversary. 40 is probably more of a landmark than 35, but honestly, 50 is probably the one that they should hit for. Oh, I don't want to think about 50th anniversary. Too old, too old. Either way, I think Zelda fans who are freaking out about the fact that we don't get the Mario treatment, maybe they're overreacting a little bit. I understand we love Zelda. I love Zelda too. But do we really need this 35th anniversary? Do we need shirts that say Zelda 35th anniversary? Like, what's the point? You wear it for 5 years. The 40th anniversary comes out and people are like, oh my gosh, you're wearing the 35th anniversary shirt? Pfft, there's no way that will ever happen. But just saying, it's not that exciting. So I don't blame Aonuma and the Zelda team for not having any sort of big merchandise. I took much longer on that than I thought, but I'm very opinionated about that. Maybe I'll do a video about it. We'll see. Pokemon Remake and Pokemon Legends Arceus. It's a little surprising they didn't show those just because Pokemon has had a voice at E3. However, what I have noticed is usually Pokemon has a direct beforehand that leads up to the Nintendo Direct, and then they'll kind of re-show what they showed there. So the fact that Pokemon didn't have their presentation before should have been an indication that wouldn't have been here. Now, I didn't think Arceus would be there. I would have liked it, but I didn't think it was going to be there. But I did think they would show the remakes, just because we only have until November when that comes out. I hope that eventually they show more of it. Then again, they probably don't have a whole lot to show off. So maybe that's why they're waiting until a little later to show more. Arceus they have to show at the Fall Direct or whenever the next Pokemon Presents is. They can't wait until 3 months before the game releases. At least I don't think. Well, you could. Pokemon can do what the heck they want. Donkey Kong. There was no game announcement, even though the rumors said there would be. Now, to be fair, I think one of the sources said, I believe it was Emily Rogers, said that this is a title that could easily be saved for a Fall Direct and kind of be one of the big titles there. And I could totally see that happening. Instead of E3, they're saving Donkey Kong for the fall. I'm so confident it's there. I think the sources that we had on this are reliable. It's just a matter of time. It's just a matter of when Nintendo wants to reveal it. Splatoon 3, I said that we wouldn't see Splatoon 3. I would be surprised if we saw it, and lo and behold, we did not see it. So I got that. Again, I don't think we'll see Splatoon 3 until either the Fall Direct or even the beginning of 2022. They're hitting for a summer 2022 release, so they're going to wait a little bit until they start the flow of news. Monolith Soft. To be fair, I didn't think that they would for sure be there, because what I said was if Monolith Soft was there, they would reveal Xenoblade 3. Clearly, that did not happen, and so I'm not incredibly disappointed. That would have been a great one more thing. Speaking of one more thing, Super Mario Odyssey 2. I thought that would be this Direct's one more thing, the final announcement to just send this Direct into the heavens. But we didn't get that. Maybe they're saving it for next year? I just can't imagine them not doing a sequel to Super Mario Odyssey. So it's gotta be coming. It's just a matter of when. But that would have been a surefire hit if they showed it here. Lastly, of course, Fire Emblem. As I said in my predictions video, it was either this year or next year where we will get a reveal for the next Fire Emblem game. I'm thinking remake. And since we didn't see it at this E3, I guess it's going to be next year. Now, Fire Emblem is a series that could probably be revealed in a fall or a spring direct. But I think it's going to be E3 2022, giving Intelligent Systems as much time as possible to work on the trailer and the game itself. But I think Fire Emblem fans, we haven't hit 2 years yet on Three Houses. It's not the end of the world. We're not dying. We'll be okay. We just gotta wait another year. We can do it. We can wait. Let's go play some Metroid and Advance Wars. Despite some misses, this was a solid E3 return for Nintendo, taking the later half of 2021 from empty to packed with strong titles. Plus, we have plenty to look forward to in 2022, with the sequel to Breath of the Wild, Mario + Rabbids Sparks of Hope, Pokemon Legends Arceus, Splatoon 3, Project Triangle Strategy, and whatever else Nintendo has up their sleeves. Nintendo fans are eating well. We are well fed. Don't let anybody tell you otherwise. I implore you to pick up one of these newly revived games, whether the horrifying Metroid Dread or the cute puzzler Advanced War. With all of these titles, you're bound to find something new to try and maybe love. It's good to have E3 back. Well, time to spend hours watching a trailer trying to figure out what the heck the title for Breath of the Wild 2 could be. You had one job, Aonuma. One job! Don't mess up next time. Nah, who am I kidding? I love that trailer. That was good. That's good stuff. You were all right. Hey, can I have that shirt? Thank you so much for watching. I can't wait for all these titles to drop. What did you think of Nintendo's E3? Good? Bad? Not enough Zelda? Let me know in the comments below. Please look forward to the next video and be sure to subscribe for more Zelda and Nintendo goodness. Goodbye, you good people.